Have you ever considered that the biggest risk to your health might not be what you fear, but what you eat every day without thinking twice? Welcome to Healthy Care, where we turn trusted science into simple actions that protect your body, one decision at a time. Today's topic is one of the most urgent and misunderstood: the role of diet in cancer risk. While cancer is influenced by many factors, some beyond our control, your daily food choices remain one of the most powerful tools you have to either reduce or raise that risk. This isn't about following extreme diets or living in fear. It's about understanding the science behind what we eat, and using that knowledge to make smarter, safer, and more life-affirming choices. In this video, we'll break down 10 common foods that research has linked to increased cancer risk. But more importantly, we'll share practical, healthy alternatives that you can start incorporating into your meals right away. If you care about prevention, longevity, and making informed choices, not just for yourself, but for your family, then stay with us. And if you're new to Healthy Care, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more evidence-based health insights you can trust. Let's get started. Your health is worth every second of this conversation. Number 1. Highly salted, pickled, or smoked foods. Let's start with number 1. We delve into a group of foods that are often hard to resist: highly salted, pickled, or smoked foods. There's no denying their appeal. These foods pack a punch in terms of flavor and can be a real treat for your taste buds. However, when it comes to your health, particularly your cancer risk, they may not be the best choice. Let's break down why. Firstly, these foods are typically high in salt. While salt is essential for your body in small amounts, excessive salt intake is a different story. High salt levels have been linked to an increased risk of certain types of cancer, particularly stomach cancer. The World Health Organization has highlighted the risks associated with high salt intake, and reducing salt consumption is a recommended strategy for cancer prevention. But it's not just the salt. Many of these foods also contain preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, which help them stay fresh longer. These preservatives, when consumed in large amounts, can form compounds in the body that are potentially carcinogenic. Smoked foods additionally contain polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, which form during the smoking process and have been linked to an increased risk of cancer. So what are the alternatives? Luckily, there are plenty of ways to enjoy similar flavors without the added risk. For starters, try using fresh or frozen vegetables. They are not only healthier but can be seasoned and prepared in a variety of delicious ways. If you're a fan of pickled foods, consider making your own at home. Homemade pickles can be made with less salt, and you have complete control over the ingredients used, ensuring they're free from harmful preservatives. Another tip is to experiment with herbs and spices. Many spices can mimic the flavor that you get from high salt or smoked foods without the health risks. For instance, using smoked paprika can give you that smoky flavor without needing to actually smoke the food. Number 2. Trans fats. Trans fats are a type of fat that has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. You'll find trans fats in various foods like certain types of margarine, fried foods, and a host of processed snacks and baked goods. But why exactly are trans fats a concern when it comes to cancer risk? Trans fats are created through an industrial process that adds hydrogen to liquid vegetable oils, making them more solid. This process, known as hydrogenation, is used to extend the shelf life of foods and give them a desirable texture. However, the downside to trans fats is significant. Numerous studies have linked them to an increased risk of various health issues including heart disease, inflammation, and yes, cancer. When it comes to cancer, particularly breast cancer, the evidence is especially concerning. For instance, a study published in the journal BMJ found that higher intakes of trans fats were associated with an increased risk of breast cancer among postmenopausal women. So what can you do to reduce your intake of trans fats and potentially lower your cancer risk? The key is to be mindful of the types of fats you're consuming. Instead of reaching for foods containing trans fats, choose foods rich in healthy fats. These include avocados, which are not only delicious but also packed with heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, and nuts like almonds, walnuts, and cashews, which are great sources of both monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. These types of fats are beneficial for your health and are not associated with an increased cancer risk. Another tip is to check food labels when shopping. In many countries, trans fats must be listed on nutritional labels, so you can make informed decisions about what you're eating. Look for terms like partially hydrogenated oils. This is a clear indicator that the product contains trans fats. Number 3. Artificial sweeteners and additives. Artificial sweeteners and flavor enhancers are found in more products than we realize. Among the most well-known are aspartame, often used in diet sodas and sugar-free foods, and MSG, a popular flavor booster found in packaged snacks, instant soups, and ready-to-eat meals. While they're praised for delivering taste without the calories, the question remains, are they truly safe in the long run? Let's begin with aspartame. It's been the subject of scientific debate for decades. Some studies have pointed to a potential link between aspartame and cancer, including research from the Ramazzini Institute in Italy. However, these findings have faced criticism from health authorities and other researchers who argue the methodology was flawed. As it stands, the evidence is inconclusive. MSG, on the other hand, has stirred less controversy in recent years but is still under watch. Although some animal studies have suggested possible negative effects, especially at high doses, there's no strong evidence linking MSG to cancer in humans. Still, for those who are cautious, the uncertainty alone may be reason enough to seek alternatives. So where does that leave us? In the absence of definitive answers, it may be wise to take a balanced approach. You don't have to abandon flavor or sweetness altogether, just shift towards safer, more natural options. For sweet cravings, try using stevia, raw honey, or pure maple syrup. They're naturally derived and free of synthetic compounds. When it comes to flavor, embrace the power of spices and herbs. Ingredients like turmeric, cinnamon, ginger, and garlic not only elevate your meals but also come packed with health-supporting properties. At the end of the day, it's not about fear, it's about informed choices. The more we understand what goes into our food, the better we can protect our health without sacrificing taste. Number 4. Food stored in plastic containers with BPA. You might not give much thought to the container holding your leftovers, but the truth is, what you store your food in matters just as much as the food itself. And there's one chemical that deserves your attention, BPA, short for bisphenol A. BPA is commonly found in many types of plastic, especially in food storage containers, canned food linings, and water bottles. The concern? BPA can seep into food and drinks, particularly when containers are heated, scratched, or worn out. Once inside the body, BPA acts as an endocrine disruptor, mimicking hormones like estrogen, and throwing off the body's natural hormonal balance. This disruption isn't just theoretical. Estrogen plays a crucial role in the development and progression of several hormone-sensitive cancers, including breast and prostate cancer. That's why organizations like the World Health Organization have raised concerns about BPA's potential long-term health impact, even though more studies are still underway to understand the full extent of the risk. So what can you do about it? It's simpler than you might think. Switch to glass containers for food storage. Glass is inert, meaning it won't react with or leach anything into your food. If you still use plastic, look for BPA-free labels and avoid exposing these containers to high heat, like microwaves or dishwashers. It's a small change with meaningful impact. Not only are you protecting your hormonal health and potentially lowering your cancer risk, but you're also making a more eco-conscious choice. Sometimes, the biggest wins for your health begin with the smallest shifts, like the container sitting in your kitchen cabinet. Number 5. Overcooked or burnt foods. We often relish the charred, crispy edges on grilled meats or the crunch of over-toasted bread, but these cooking methods can have hidden health risks. As we've discussed earlier, when foods, particularly meats, are cooked at high temperatures or for extended periods, they can form harmful compounds. Two of these are heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs. HCAs form when meats are cooked at high temperatures like grilling or pan frying, while PAHs are created when fat drips onto an open flame, causing smoke that adheres to the surface of the meat. These compounds have been shown to cause changes in DNA that may increase the risk of cancer. The concern isn't limited to meats, though. Foods like bread or potatoes, when over-toasted or overcooked to the point of burning, can produce acrylamide, another potentially harmful chemical. Acrylamide forms in carbohydrate-rich foods during high-temperature cooking like frying, roasting, or baking. Studies, including research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, have linked dietary acrylamide exposure to an increased risk of several types of cancer. So how can you reduce your exposure to these harmful compounds? The key is in the cooking method. Cooking foods at lower temperatures and avoiding burning them is a smarter choice. For instance, you can try steaming, boiling, or stewing, which don't typically create these harmful chemicals. If you're grilling, marinating meats beforehand can not only add flavor but also help reduce the formation of HCAs and PAHs. Additionally, regular flipping of meat while cooking and removing charred portions can also minimize risk. Another tip is to be mindful when toasting bread or roasting potatoes. Aim for a golden yellow color rather than a dark brown or black. Not only does this reduce the formation of harmful compounds, but it also preserves more of the natural nutrients in the food. Number 6. Refined carbohydrates. When it comes to comfort food, refined carbohydrates often top the list. Think soft white bread, buttery pastries, and all those conveniently packaged snacks we tend to reach for. They're easy, familiar, and undeniably satisfying. But if you're aiming to lower your cancer risk, these processed carbs might be doing you more harm than good. Refined carbohydrates are made by stripping away the natural fiber and nutrients during processing. What's left is mostly starch from white flour that the body quickly converts into glucose. This rapid digestion causes spikes in blood sugar, followed by surges of insulin, the hormone responsible for managing glucose levels. So why does this matter? Studies suggest that chronically high insulin levels, along with insulin-like growth factors, may play a role in promoting the growth and spread of certain cancers, especially breast and colorectal cancer. One particular study, published in Cancer Epidemiology, Biomarkers and Prevention, even found a connection between high glycemic load diets and an increased risk of lung cancer. But the good news is, you don't have to give up carbohydrates altogether. In fact, the right kinds of carbs can actually support your health. Whole grains like brown rice, oats, quinoa, and whole wheat bread digest more slowly, helping maintain steady blood sugar levels. They're rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals, offering nutritional benefits without the glucose roller coaster. Even better, fiber-rich foods have been shown to directly reduce cancer risk. They support digestion, sweep toxins from the gut, and can bind to potential carcinogens, helping to eliminate them from the body. Load your plate with vegetables, legumes, fruits, and whole grains, not only for their flavor, but for the lasting protection they offer. Number 7. Alcohol. Whether it's wine, beer, or spirits, alcohol is consumed by many without much thought about its potential long-term effects. However, when it comes to cancer risk, regular consumption of alcohol is a significant factor to consider. Alcohol consumption has been linked to an increased risk of several types of cancer, including breast, liver, colon, and throat cancer, among others. The reason behind this is multifaceted. Alcohol metabolizes in the body to acetaldehyde, a toxic chemical and a probable human carcinogen. Acetaldehyde can damage DNA and proteins, which is a key process in the development of cancer. Additionally, alcohol can impair the body's ability to absorb and use various nutrients like vitamin A, folate, and vitamin C, which are vital for preventing cell damage. The more alcohol a person drinks over time, the higher the risk of developing alcohol-associated cancers. According to research, even moderate alcohol consumption is not risk-free. For instance, a study in the British Journal of Cancer found that even low levels of drinking could increase the risk of certain cancers. So what can you do to reduce this risk? The most effective way is to cut down on your alcohol intake or avoid it altogether. Choosing non-alcoholic drinks is not just a healthier choice for reducing cancer risk, but also beneficial for overall health. There are many enjoyable and sophisticated non-alcoholic options available these days, from mocktails to non-alcoholic wines and beers. If you do choose to drink, it's recommended to limit your intake. The American Cancer Society suggests that men should have no more than 2 drinks per day and women no more than 1. Remember, a drink is defined as 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or 1.5 ounces of spirits. Number 8. Red meat. While a juicy steak or a hearty burger can be a mouth-watering treat, there's growing evidence that excessive consumption of red meat is linked to an increased risk of certain types of cancer, particularly colorectal cancer. Red meat, which includes beef, lamb, and pork, is a rich source of protein and essential nutrients like iron and vitamin B12. However, when consumed in large amounts, it poses health risks. Research has shown a significant link between red meat and an increased risk of colorectal cancer. For example, a major study published in the International Journal of Cancer found that high red meat intake was associated with a higher risk of developing colorectal cancer. So why does red meat have this effect? One reason is the presence of certain chemicals formed during the cooking process, especially when meat is cooked at high temperatures or until well done. These chemicals, such as heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, are known carcinogens. Another factor is the high iron content in red meat, specifically a type called heme iron, which has been suggested to promote the formation of potentially carcinogenic compounds in the body. Now, this doesn't mean you need to completely eliminate red meat from your diet. It's all about balance and moderation. One way to reduce your risk is to limit your red meat intake. The American Cancer Society, for instance, recommends choosing smaller portions and eating red meat less frequently. Another tip is to opt for leaner cuts of meat, which have less fat and may reduce the formation of harmful chemicals during cooking. Moreover, exploring plant-based proteins can be both a healthy and delicious alternative. Foods like beans, lentils, tofu, and tempeh are excellent sources of protein, and are packed with other nutrients while being low in harmful substances linked to cancer. Incorporating these into your diet not only diversifies your meal choices but also contributes to a lower cancer risk. Number 9. Sugary drinks. Landing in the number 9 spot on our list are sugary drinks, a deceptively sweet danger hiding in plain sight. This category includes sodas, sweetened teas, energy drinks, and a wide range of flavored beverages that have become staples around the world. But while they may taste refreshing, their long-term impact on health, especially in relation to cancer, is deeply troubling. The root of the issue lies in their excessive sugar content. Drinking these beverages on a regular basis can lead to weight gain and obesity, both of which are firmly established risk factors for multiple forms of cancer, including breast, kidney, colorectal, and esophageal cancer. Beyond weight gain, sugary drinks trigger sharp spikes in blood sugar and insulin, mimicking the metabolic chaos caused by refined carbohydrates. These frequent insulin surges can disrupt the body's hormonal balance and create an internal environment that promotes the growth and spread of cancer cells. Supporting this concern, a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found a direct correlation between high consumption of sugary drinks and increased cancer risk. But the solution is simpler than you think. Start with the most powerful and overlooked drink of all, water. It's vital for every bodily function and plays a key role in weight maintenance and detoxification. And if water feels too plain, elevate it with slices of fresh fruit, lemon, lime, cucumber, or sprigs of mint for a crisp, clean twist. Herbal teas are another excellent alternative. Available in a wide range of flavors, they're naturally free from sugar and calories and often rich in antioxidants that support cellular health. If you're craving fizz, try sparkling water infused with natural flavors, but always read the labels carefully to ensure you're avoiding added sugars and artificial sweeteners that can sneak in unnoticed. Ultimately, it's not about cutting out pleasure, it's about making smarter, more nourishing swaps. With each drink you replace, you're not just hydrating, you're reclaiming control over your long-term health, one sip at a time. Number 10. Processed meats. This category includes favorites like bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and deli meats. Despite their popularity in many diets around the world, processed meats come with significant health concerns, particularly regarding cancer risk. The main issue with processed meats lies in their content of nitrates and nitrites, which are used as preservatives to extend shelf life and enhance color and flavor. When consumed, these substances can form N-nitroso compounds in the body, which are known carcinogens. The World Health Organization has classified processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen, meaning there is sufficient evidence that they can cause cancer in humans. The evidence is most compelling for colorectal cancer, but associations with stomach and other cancers have also been observed. For example, a major study published in The Lancet Oncology found that the consumption of processed meat is linked to an increased risk of colorectal cancer. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, part of the WHO, estimates that every 50-gram portion of processed meat eaten daily increases the risk of colorectal cancer by about 18%. So what can you do to mitigate this risk? A great place to start is by reducing your intake of processed meats and instead opting for fresher alternatives. Fresh, lean cuts of meat are a healthier option if you're not ready to give up meat entirely. These cuts contain fewer harmful preservatives and are generally lower in fat. Another excellent strategy is to explore the world of plant-based proteins. Foods like beans, lentils, tofu, and tempeh not only provide the protein you need, but also come packed with other health benefits and are free from the harmful substances found in processed meats. You made it to the end, and now you know. It's not just what we eat, but how it's stored, how it's cooked, and how often it ends up on our plates. From BPA in plastics to the preservatives in processed meats, each of these hidden dangers tells the same story: when we eat better, we live better. But don't let this list overwhelm you. Change doesn't have to be dramatic to be meaningful. Start small. Swap plastic for glass. Choose a plant-based meal once a week. Cut back on sugary drinks. These little shifts add up, and over time, they could mean more energy, fewer risks, and a longer, healthier life. At Healthy Care, we believe that knowledge is the most powerful ingredient you can add to your lifestyle. So if this video helped open your eyes, pass it on. Share it with someone you care about. Leave us a comment below. What shocked you the most? What changes are you ready to make? And don't forget to subscribe, because we're just getting started on this journey to healthier, smarter living. Until next time, stay curious, stay empowered, and keep choosing health, one bite at a time.